What's going on, gang? Baltmatrix here, and today we are at TFCon 2017 in Washington, D.C., or Reston, Virginia. Close enough. I am here taking a look at Big Sprig from Big One Toys. Fortunately, the wonderful folks over at the Chosen Prime were kind enough to let me borrow this to take a look at on my channel. So if you are interested in this figure, head over to the Chosen Prime. We're going to start off in helicopter mode, and this is a really, really cool helicopter mode. I think it is very nice. It's big, it's bulky, and it works, oddly enough. The figure does feel pretty good in the hand, and overall, the colors in this mode are quite good. The blades spin freely, as you can see, and there is a gun here on the side. The figure also comes with a giant missile, which we'll talk about later. Overall, I really like this mode. I think it works. Yeah, it is a little bit funny looking. I'm not going to lie there, but it works. It really does. Only issue I have, I can't keep the rear rotor stem together. No big deal. The first part of the transformation that we're going to get into today is into the vehicle mode, and this transformation is incredibly easy. It is so refreshing to see a figure of this type have such an easy transformation. First, pull off the sword propellers, combine them like that, and that's the sword. Next, we're going to come to the figure itself and come to the front pylons, disconnect them from the front of the vehicle mode. Then there is this little green piece on the inside. Once that piece is unpegged, come to the front pylon, actually open it up, straighten it out, and then open the green piece all the way, flip it 180 degrees, and then close it and connect it back into the front of the other vehicle mode. Then we could close this up, fold this whole section forward, slide it on this little slider here. It will peg into place, come to the underside, flip out this yellow piece, and snap that into place to fill in that gap. Come to the pylon on the side, fold it out, open it up, flip up the little, I guess, I'm not sure what you would call that, the little runner, flip it back, turn it, and then this whole section will peg into place on the side there. And there we have the first part of the vehicle mode done. Now that the front of the vehicle mode is complete, we're going to go ahead to the canopy, actually flip it up, slide the halves of the canopy open. And then there's another piece right in here that flips out, up, and around. And then that will peg into place between these two halves, like so. Lastly, we're going to come to the tail rotor, and this is the easiest part of this transformation. Split it open, fold up these side wings, and then accordion it down on those hinges, and they will snap into place. Like that. And then you can split the back open a little bit. You don't have to, but I like to do that, and then slide it back together. Like that. And that's the car mode. I think this is really awesome. The other thing you could do in either one of the modes is flip out these front headlights or cannons. Works fine. I think this vehicle mode works really well, or I should say this car mode. It is futuristically silly. It is chunky, it is a rocket car, and it works really well. You can pose the gun on either side of the vehicle mode. I choose there. And then you can take the sword and have this little piece, peg it up top, or peg it off to the side, and store the sword like so. So yes, it is silly that he is carrying a giant sword in vehicle mode, but overall, I do like it. Transformation into robot mode is a slightly bit more dramatic and complicated. First, we're going to unpeg the shoulder bits, or what will become the shoulder bits, sorry. Then come down to the center of the vehicle mode and unpeg the legs from the sides. And then that whole section will fold out. And that I love. I love the fact that the entire bottom part of the robot mode folds out like that. That is so cool. Then we'll take the legs, or I'm sorry, the runners, and fold them out straight like this. Then take the knees, grab them, flip them around, flip out the feet, and then flip down the legs while getting everything else lined up. And you have to also get these sections lined up as well. So you have to turn them around and open them up and get everything lined up, which I'll be completely honest, is a little bit of a pain, but once you get everything lined up and into place and everything folded up into the correct spot and folded down, you have a perfectly good leg that looks really cool and even has toes. Now for the upper torso, and this is actually pretty complicated, but very cool. Start off with the side panels, just open them up, just get them out of the way. Then reach inside and push this panel open and retransform the canopy the way it was in the other mode, fold in to the chest, and then that will close up inside. Then we can come to the arms, slide the arms back, turn them around, and then drop the entire torso down while also grabbing the head and flipping it around so that it will come up through here. Though you do have to open that up first. That would help immensely. And pop off the ball joint because, that's just what we do. Before we reattach the head, the one thing we need to do is make sure that the head is back where it should be, which unfortunately is over here. Turn these flaps around again, then collapse the whole section down and peg these flaps into the chest, or what would be the top of these shoulders, which is actually rather difficult. You have to just get this thing lined up correctly. Otherwise, you're going to have a bad time. And also, you need to come inside and open up these panels and flip them out. Otherwise, you're going to break the figure. So once that's done, you've got an open section. You can push them closed. You can get all these guys in place. Fold up the head, get that all put in place. And the last thing is flip out this one piece, and that will peg the chest into the torso. And then you can replace the head. And like every figure on the planet, his hands are stored in his forearms, which are actually a little bit tricky to do because you have to open both sides of the forearm in order to flip it out. So then you do that on both sides, and you've got the hands. And then finally come the shoulders. And this is actually a little bit tricky. So what you want to do is grab the shoulder, then you turn it over. So you'll turn it like this, flip that yellow piece closed. Yeah, I know we flipped it out before. This will close over the wheel like this, snap into place, and then this section will just fold back. And you can flip it open and fold it like that if you want. Or you could just, close it and fold it like that. Either way works. And I'm sorry, I forgot to show you these panels that we had open before. They will close in on themselves and then form in, filling in his chest a little more. One other cool thing about Big Sprig is that the thruster actually folds up into his back, and then the whole figure can collapse down and rest there, so you don't have the thruster sticking off his butt, and that would then throw off the rest of the alt mode or the robot mode. So that makes everything connecting together a lot easier. As far as third-party Springer figures go, Big Sprig is fan-freaking-tastic. It is so much fun to transform. It's not that complicated, and it looks really good. Now, I do believe that Unique Toys Alan might actually look better in robot mode, but the transformation for that figure is so complicated, I've never actually filmed it. It's just that annoying. The overall aesthetic of Big Sprig works incredibly well, and it feels really good. The only negative thing that I can even think to come up with is these joints here are supposed to be ratchets on the shoulders that move up and down. They are very loose on this figure. And I don't know if that is an issue with the mold or an issue with just this figure. That's the only complaint I can even levy against this guy. In terms of posability, Big Sprig can look up that much, can look down that much. Multi-joint swivels and hinges in the shoulder, swivel at the bicep, double bend at the elbows, fist rotates, hands open and close on 2 pins. The trigger finger has its own posability. Torso swivel. Figure can kick forward that much, can kick out that much. Thigh swivel just above the knee, 90-degree bend at the knee. Foot articulation and pivot. In the course of posing the robot mode, I did find that the figure doesn't hold on to his weapons very well. They are held very loosely and don't peg into his palms, where he has actual slots in his palms to hold weapons. This is the best pose that I could kind of come up with quickly, though he is much more posable than I am able to display here. If you're in the market for a third-party Springer, I think Big Sprig should definitely be on your short list. It is an absolutely fantastic figure and really, really worth your money. I like this figure a lot. Now, there are a couple of others, and there were one or two just announced here at TFCon. So do your research, check out reviews, check out my reviews, check out other people's reviews, and once you've decided, head over to the Chosen Prime to pick up your favorite choice. As always, I am Baltmatrix. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Give me a sub if you loved it. And as always, I will catch you next time.